Hey nerds, I'm Martha, aka Read by a Redhead, and today I'm coming to you with my very rough TBR for the A Touch of Whimsy Adventures Through Wonderland Readathon. Now, if you don't know me, I am a huge Alice in Wonderland fan. I have been since I was a really small child, to the extent where my sister and I made a pact that the first one of us to have a little girl would call her Alice, and I have a niece called Alice. But yes, I have dressed for the occasion, so I have my Cheshire Cat vest top and I've got my little Alice in Wonderland bow, and I made this myself. I'm not going to admit how long it took me just to sew a simple piece of fabric, but it worked and we're here. And also, as you may have spotted in my hand, I have this adorable mug which is actually part of the merch for the readathon. And I couldn't help myself. I think the design and the artwork is stunning, and it's my first readathon on this channel, so I wanted something little to commemorate it. This mug is also a great way for me to explain to you who the creators are and where this readathon has come from. So the first person on this mug is Gavin, and he's actually how I found out about the readathon. And I actually know Gavin personally. We both work in Waterstones just around Newcastle. So we're friends, we've worked together, and he actually is who inspired me to start this channel and has been such an excellent support. So shout out to Gavin, and also he looks really cool as a white rabbit. I have to give him that. And then coming along here we have these two, so Alice and the Mad Hatter, and these two are actually the co-creators. So they run A Touch of Whimsy and they have created the readathon together. So Alice is Kaylin and the Mad Hatter is Lexi. Can I just say, I want this Mad Hatter outfit made for me, personally tailored, please. Like, somebody make this happen, please. And as well as them, I can't leave out the other co-host, who is Jade. I will leave all of their channels below and the links to the actual Touch of Whimsy Twitter and all the information you may need. So the Adventures Through Wonderland Readathon has actually got this gorgeous map which explains the different prompts, and the whole idea is that you read a prompt to travel your way through Wonderland. So the first prompt is read a book set in another world. The second one is read an aesthetically pleasing book. Then we travel up, and this one is quite cute. It's just make yourself a little bookish snack. Not sure if I'll do that. I am not a baker or anything. I might just make myself a nice hot chocolate, but we'll see. Following from that, we come to pick a book for a cozy night in. For this, I want to try and read something smaller that I can kind of blast through one night, curled up in a blanket. That sounds amazing to me. And from there, we move up to pick a book that you think you're going to love. Now for me, all of the books I'm putting on my TBR are books I think I'm going to love. But yeah, it's a specific one on there. From that, we come to pick a strange and mysterious book, which with middle grade is usually quite easy. And following from there, the very last prompt is they are doing a live costume party. So the last bit is kind of just join them for that. It'll be on their channels and also on the Touch of Whimsy social media. So if you're wanting to join in, you can follow the prompts, but you can also join them for the live costume party. Now, one of my favourite things about this readathon is that it runs for the whole of September, so 1st to 30th. There isn't like a set date in between to meet each prompt, and also the prompts are quite vague and quite exciting, and I really love that it gives us a bit of freedom in sorting it out and also when we're going to read them. So for me, this seemed like the perfect readathon. Also, don't think I mentioned, but it's all middle grade, hence I've got such a young age range. Yes, I am going to drink, well, I wish I could say this was a nice cup of tea, but my throat's quite sore, so it's a glass of water. So I'm going to drink my glass of water and dive straight into my TBR for the Adventures Through Wonderland Readathon. So the first books on this rough TBR are School for Good and Evil books. Now, I adore this series and I actually have never completed it. I read up to book 4 and then just kind of fell out of it and never kept going. So recently I've started rereading them, but on audiobook, and I am currently about halfway through book 2, A World Without Princes. So that's why I've got book 2 and book 3 on this TBR, because I will be finishing book 2, but I don't think it really counts because I have read half of it in August. So I think I will very probably get to book 3 and hopefully finish this audiobook in the whole month of September. I listen to audiobooks quite a lot, so fingers crossed I can get to it. Books actually work for quite a few of the good prompts on the Wonderland Readathon. They have beautiful, aesthetically pleasing covers, like they're stunning. They are a book set in another world because the School for Good and Evil is set in a particular forest and it has fairy tale characters in it. And they also work for a strange and mysterious read because throughout these books there's often little mysteries. They are very, very strange and the magic system's quite clever. It's linked to the ideas of good and evil and princesses and witches, and they definitely meet strange. The next book on my TBR is 100% the first physical read I will be picking up when I've finished my current one, which is Hollowpox by Jessica Townsend. So this is the 3rd book in the Nevermoor series. I cannot thank Hachette enough for sending me this proof, which is stunning. And yes, this without a doubt is going on this TBR. I will make it work no matter what. And for the prompts, Hollowpox covers lots. So although this isn't the final cover, I think it's beautiful and very aesthetically pleasing. So 100% it works for that prompt. It works for a cozy night in because I fully think that I will curl up with this and a blanket and it'll be wonderful. I can guarantee that Hollowpox is going to be strange and mysterious. Like, these books have a really, really clever magic system. Morgan is quite an odd character anyway, it's why I love her so much, and the world of Nevermoor is very strange and very mysterious. Also, a book I think I'm going to love, check. A book set in a different magical setting, check. This book fits. It works for the Wonderland Readathon and I am very excited to get to it finally. Sticking to sequels, my next book, I actually have 2, but I only have one of them here, is the sequel to Pages & Co. by Anna James. So the first one was Pages & Co. Tilly and the Book Wanderers, and book 2 is Tilly and the Lost Fairy Tales. And I actually haven't finished this. I started it when the book first came out, but had bad reading slump, nothing to do with the book at all, and I've been dying to get back to it for ages. And book 3 comes out during September. So my copy is pre-ordered. The minute it arrives, I plan on sitting one night and binging the 2 of them. They're really quick reads and they're really clever. They're often like little illustrations and bits like that, so I know I'm going to love these because I adored the first one so much. Again, could not be more aesthetically pleasing. I take the dust jacket straight off this series because I think the naked hardcovers are so beautiful. Technically, it's a book set in another world because Tilly wanders into books. That's the kind of whole thing of this series, so I fully believe going into other books is going into another world. Also, I know I'm going to love these. 100% a book I think I will love. Tick for this one and for book 3. They just, I love Tilly and I love the whole concept. I think any reader wishes they could meet their favourite characters and jump in. So definitely for this one. I don't know whether they'll fit in Strange and Mysterious because I've worked really hard not to know what the plots are for the sequels. So I'm hoping there'll be some sort of mystery element through it. There often is in middle grade books, especially for adventure. But I don't know, I am just so excited to add this to my Touch of Whimsy TBR. I also have this little one, which is Don't Tell Him I'm a Mermaid by Laura Kirkpatrick. And the first book was And Then I Turned Into a Mermaid by Laura Kirkpatrick. It was amazing. It was such a fun, quick middle grade read. and I was so excited when the sequel came out during lockdown that I had to get it straight away, but I just haven't picked it up yet, and this seems like the perfect time, especially because it's so short. So I think I'm going to use this for the A Cozy Night In read, because I could 100% make myself a cute hot drink, curl up with my blanket in my reading chair and devour this in one sitting. Also, if you didn't know, Laura Kirkpatrick is actually the pen name for Laura Stephen, who wrote the exact opposite of OK. So not only is she one of my favourite authors, like for YA, she is also a fantastic middle grade author, and I'm very excited to finally get to read the sequel. I am officially done with sequels now, and I have 2 more books that I have got on my radar that I really want to read, and hopefully I will fit them into this TBR. To be honest, this pile isn't set. I may not stick with these particular books in this particular order. So the 2 final books could not be more different, but they are A Kind of Spark by Elle McNicoll. This is not the final cover, this is a proof copy that I have. And Dragon Mountain by Katie and Kevin Tsang. Also, the sprayed edges. Look at them. They are just absolutely beautiful. Going first to A Kind of Spark. This book I have been kind of scared to read, not because I don't think I'm going to enjoy it, not because of anything like criticism of the book. All I have heard is praise, but actually because of the praise, because this book is Own Voices for Autism, and specifically for female autism, and that's what scares me. I am quite nervous for how much this is going to emotionally affect me, because if you don't know, I am female autistic. I wasn't diagnosed until I was in my early 20s, so I had quite a rough childhood with it. I never knew what was going on in my brain, why I seemed to work differently to other people. And I know this one is different because the main character does have a diagnosis and does understand herself a little bit better. But yeah, I'm nervous for how much I'm going to cry, and I also know that as soon as I read this, it is going to be up there on the top of one of my favourite books, because I've heard nothing but praise, and I follow the author on Twitter, and how open she is about getting more neurodivergent rep, I just think is fantastic. And I've been kind of putting it off because I'm a little bit scared for how much it's going to mean to me, but I think the readathon is the perfect excuse, because although this cover is a little bit more plain, the final cover is absolutely stunning, so it definitely counts on that. It is also perfect for a cozy night in because it is another quite short one that I can imagine I'll read quite quickly. It's 100% a book I think I'm going to love. I adore reading good autism rep regardless, but especially Own Voices female autism. This is going to be a good one. And the other book was Dragon Mountain, and I am so excited for this. So if you don't know, Katie and Kevin Tsang are a married couple. They write the Sam Wu books for younger readers, and Katie is also Catherine Webber, who writes for YA. So they are uber successful authors, and the Sam Wu books are fantastic. But this is the start of their new middle grade series. And when I first got to speak to them last year and they were telling me about this series, it just sounded amazing. And I think we can all agree we all need more dragons in our life. So I purposefully not found out much about this book, something that you'll probably learn on my channel. I don't like knowing a lot about a book. I like hearing whether people enjoyed it or not and knowing what genre it is, but that's it. I like to be surprised by plots and characters, and that's my favourite thing with a new book. So this one, as you can tell, has the most stunning cover, so it definitely fits for aesthetically pleasing. Definitely is a book set in another world. Unfortunately we don't get dragons in our world, so set in another world. It's a book I do think I'm going to love. I love dragon stories, and I haven't read a good, exciting one for middle grade in a long time, especially one where it's the start of a new series, because I really love getting into a good series. I think it's why I love the Nevermoor books so much. Same with School for Good and Evil and Pages and Co. So as you can tell, most of my TBR for this readathon are series, because I love getting into a new one, and especially the first book is really exciting. So I hope I can get this in when I'm doing my reading. I'm not sure. As I say, this TBR is very rough. It is very much here's the books that I have that if I'm in the mood for, I'll pick them up. So there we have it. We have my TBR pile for the Adventures Through Wonderland Readathon. I am so excited to do my first readathon on this channel. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to do it as kind of vlogs throughout the month, or just kind of film throughout the whole month and then just do one video straight at the end. If you have any preference or kind of idea what you think I could do to celebrate me reading these books for this readathon, please pop it in the comments down below. And also let me know if you're taking part. I'd love to know what you're using for the prompts, whether you're like me and are pigeonholing books you want to read into the prompts, or whether you have kind of stuck stricter to readathon rules. But yes, thank you so much for making it to the end of my video. Please drop a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you soon for some more bookish fun.